Hello, this is Bug News, and today we're going to talk about Cynthia G interview on Storm's platform or YouTube. We'll get right to some hard points for the quick clickers, and who only lives for 10 seconds. So, during this interview, Cynthia G talked about Kevin Samuels, and as you know, Kevin Samuels is a content creator. He mostly focuses on relationships between men and women, and in particular subgroup of black men and black women. But paraphrasing, or allegedly, Cynthia G basically, called Kevin Samuels gay, and she says he's not being his true self, and this is just paraphrasing allegedly, and she's asking why does he have a platform addressing relationships with men and women when it should be probably men and men. Then after that, she went in on, and not necessarily after that, but just during this 2 hour, it was a 2 hour thing. So I'm giving you like the first, I guess the more comical parts of the interview, because then we'll go into some other detail. But then she went on to Tariq Nasheed. So she basically was body shaming Tariq Nasheed, or some may consider body shaming, by saying that he has women's hips, and he's, how many babies has he births to those hips. Then she basically talked about his past radio shows or podcasts or whatever, where he was bashing women, and she used to follow Tariq Nasheed, but allegedly maybe they had a relationship, but this is pure speculation and with no proof. But she went on to Tariq Nasheed. Then of course, if you don't know the background of Cynthia G, she talks about relationships, and particularly she addresses black women's issues. The only criticism I have, and the interview was based, talking about her and different things, and then she said, she didn't have a problem dating a black man. As you know, she's on this thing about birthing, but what she fails to do when she's talking about being selective, I forgot the choices used, but it sounds like eugenics to some people. If you go to a YouTuber named Oracle, or Speak from the Oracle, or something like that, some lady, but it sounds like eugenics. But if she would say, black men just need to wear condoms, and to prevent births that they may not want if they're out here, shooting up clubs, but they don't want, the responsibility. She could come out and say that, and a lot less people would be offended, and she would have a leg to stand on. But some people perceive what she's saying as eugenics, and that's just it. But one flaw, and she has a right to her opinion, but one flaw that I'm surprised no one has ever pointed out with Cynthia G. She does all this yapping, but she never presents any facts or statistics. So during the interview, she said she did research. Well, my interpretation was she was saying she was doing YouTube research. She didn't give me any references to the research that she has conducted. So a lot of times, let's say if you hear, even Tariq, if he has a research, he'll point out an article, he'll reference a book, he'll reference a movie or something for you yourself to go verify what he's saying based off his interpretation, where she fails to do that based on what I've seen. I mean, I could be wrong, but she may reference articles, but when she says research, she never gives it, I read this book, this is, so you can go read it, and then you can say, okay, yeah, I agree with her. Oh, she was right, she pointed it out. Or I have this statistical data. I haven't seen her do that in her dialogue on a daily basis. Now, she may reference an article here and there. I think she does that. But as far as the books, referencing like a panel where expert comes in and says something, there's no point of reference there, and this is a big criticism. So it just sounds to me like she's talking out, off her head, and making general assumptions, because some of her stuff is general. I mean, it may be some issues, but there's general assumptions, because other research said. So now, of course, I haven't presented any research at this time, but maybe in another post, I'll go into something she said and say, hey, you said this, this said that. You said this, this said that. And then that's how you would have a debate with an individual, and not you being perceived as talking off your head, because you're backing up with somebody, a collective that have done research in that area, to say yay or nay, you were right on this or you was wrong on that. But the interview with Storm Monroe is in the description. There was I think one of his better interviews, although he did not, to me, ask too many hard questions in that aspect. But they said they may do a part 2, and we'll see if that happens. But they did it at an odd time, like at midday. Everybody's at work. Whereas I think they should have did it like at 7 or 8, where, you know, you could got those real trolls in there that was going to come online and ask the questions, because they did at the end of the interview, they did allow people to come up. So you had people who, oh yeah, I got something to ask her. And she said a lot of times people can't debate her, or that's another thing she said. She said Tariq Nasheed would never debate her, and maybe he won't. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there are people out there who would debate her and not get in their feelings. But she said a lot of times people get in their feelings and talk about her hair and things like that. Although my personal opinion, Storm did shade her when he asked her the weed question, but it's my personal opinion. But this is just you check out the interview, follow the YouTube streets and see what they have to say about Miss Cynthia G and the Storm Monroe interview. And this is Bug News, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.